flying around, which I certainly would have expected even if they had abandoned their nests. There were no sounds. Usually there were plenty of sounds of nesting birds because the young make lots of noise. There were no sounds of young birds. It was really very eerie quiet, and I've never really seen anything like this on any of the coastal colonies, including government of Alabama.
So in your professional career, being at the University of Florida since 1986, you've never seen anything like this before?
Never seen anything that involves this many species in a coastal situation before, and that's what was weird.
Has anybody suggested that magnetic field anomalies this century could have impact on birds? Meaning, I know that the geophysicists are trying to figure out what is going on because the swarm satellites reported rapid decline in the Earth's magnetic field in the first 6 months of 2014, and they're gathering data to do another report now. And what they don't know is how much further in decline will this magnetic field go till there starts to be effects on birds and marine animals.
Well, it's a really good question. The one that we do know is that birds and reptiles, at least, and some fish, use the magnetic field in the way they navigate. They're sensing the angle at which the magnetic field hits the Earth. And by that, they can understand latitude and try to get to where they're going. You don't actually have to have sunlight. You can navigate at night or in murky waters or whatever. So we know that they're sensitive to the magnetic field of the Earth. We also know, at least in birds and turtles, that there are redundant systems for navigating. So birds have a magnetic sense, but they also have a smell sense that can help them navigate. They also use landmarks to orient themselves, and they also use something called a sun compass. So if there were a major change in the magnetic field of the Earth, I have no doubt that some animals are going to be pretty messed up from that.
What is your own speculation about why this dramatic disappearance?
Based on my own experience with these birds, I feel like I can rule out food as a likely explanation. I also feel like, for various reasons, that predation and novel predators or increased numbers of predators also seems to be an unlikely explanation. What I'm left with is that there must have been some kind of a disturbance. The one thing that the people in the local town, the Keys, say is that there have been a lot more military and other flights of airplanes and helicopters over the area for the past couple of months. That doesn't mean it was military. It could have been a private helicopter. It might have been some other big disturbance that we don't even know about.
Could the military have been running underwater exercises with technology that could cause a magnetic pulse that scared all the birds away? No one knows. Biologists are now concerned there could be a ripple effect to other birds that will have anxiety about the empty, quiet island. Ironically, all birds could avoid landing on what is supposed to be a peaceful sanctuary for them, not a threat. Bird researcher Janelle Brush with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation echoed Professor Frederick's own suspicion that something traumatic happened that night in May. Quote, "Any rookery that's persisted for decades as one of the largest colonies is incredibly important. There had to be some intense event that would drive all these birds away." Close quote.
Fascinating. That was Living Molten House Earth Files, a fabulous, really unusual story. They're saying that these birds just disappeared, and what's happening to the Earth's magnetic field? So I have to wonder about this. This is bizarre. There's a bird sanctuary in Florida, and they say that the birds have disappeared. And they're explaining their wow, gravitational pull has something to do with it, huh? Wow. Just amazing. Another story I have here that falls under strange but true as well. And I don't know if I saved it. It's down here somewhere. Well, it's down the page somewhere. But I talked about that. 323 deer were struck by lightning at the same time. That's strange but true. At the same time, here it is. Comes out September 1st after the unprecedented mass killing. 323 reindeer in Norway. And why did the antlers actually come off? Yeah, the antlers came off. Professor Kirk Keelan, I guess he's, let's see, where is that at? I usually look in there and find, okay, it's Nut Keelan. He's a professor in ecology, University of Alaska in Fairbanks, Arctic Biology Department. And on August 31st of 2016, he asked about large antlers disconnected from some males of 323 reindeer herd. Yeah, 323 reindeer herd, all dead at once, even on the top of each other. And this was on Friday, August 26th at the Hardangervidda National Park in Norway. Professor stated, I had no idea why so many antlers would be off. I saw that myself in the video of a mass kill. They had never seen anything like that before. And, let's see, he never saw this before. He's a professor, and his colleague, Greg Feinstead, manager of the Reindeer Research Department, University of Alaska Fairbanks, agreed that he had never seen large antlers disconnected from male reindeer like that. I mean, they were all struck by lightning at the same time. Could you imagine that? Imagine just seeing that. Like, wow. But there was another similar story I had recently about cattle getting struck by lightning at the same time. Very bizarre. No joke. Wow. More strange but true. Here on GJRB. Check this out. It's another weird story. Viewers across Texas saw blue streaks across the eastern sky on yesterday. KHOU 11 meteorologist Cheetah Craft says that the streaks are let's see if I can pronounce that, crepuscular or anti-solar. The rays were reflected from the offshore showers. Quote, they are most common during the sunrise. Makes for a beautiful, interesting photo. This is an interesting photo. I will post this picture on my Pinterest page. It's wild. Let me see this thing. I'll post it on my Pinterest page. I'll post it all over the social media. That is weird. I'm looking at that thing. I'm looking at it. It's a blue streak, and this is what people were seeing in Texas. I don't know if I pronounced that. Crepuscular rays, I guess they call it. And they appear to converge on the sun. Anti-crepuscular waves or anti-solar rays coverage the opposite direction. You must have your back on the sun or sunset and point to see them. They appear to converge towards the anti-solar point, the point of the sky sphere directly opposite the sun. Fabulous thing. I mean, I'll post this. That is a bizarre looking thing. I mean, it's a blue streak, and it goes from the ground to the sky or ground up. It looks like a blue tornado. It's a bizarre looking thing. And it got residents baffled near Houston. Unusual. Yeah, we got some really unusual stuff there. And got more of that. You know, we call it the strange, the bizarre, the unusual, way out there here on GJRB Online. We're going to be closing up here, so we're going to wrap up our show. That's about it. That's all I've got. And, of course, Strange but True didn't get to too much of anything, so we will touch more on some of the other stuff I was going to do today. But I think we pretty well covered it, so I'm going to wrap it up here with some program schedules and who's going to be the guest this week, and see what's going on Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie, brought to you by Premier Radio Networks. Premier bringing you Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie every night on fabulous radio stations across the country, great talk stations across the USA. And that's what inspired this program. George Norrie, Art Bell started this, and I just kind of picked it up. Way out there, it's just like I'm inspired by Coast to Coast and Premier Radio Networks, and I love doing this program. So we're gonna wrap it up here and close it off, and with the program schedule for Coast to Coast AM for the rest of the week. Now, when I run out, I will redo this and finish up on the conclusion side. So let's do it right now. Our program schedule, starting with tonight, open lines, but it's going to start with Future Warfare. Richard Sirrett is the host. He's also the host of another great show we kind of run over here on our 9-foot signal called Conspiracy Show. But it's also heard here locally on KROS. Great program. I like listening to that. I try to catch it whenever I can. He's going to be the guest. He's at events of a research, and it's interesting. He's got a guest. His name is Eric Shafire, I believe. Pronounce that right. The events of the Terminator movie is no longer complete science fiction. Well, an autonomous weapon system, ethical, and how likely it is that the government's set to deploy them. Robotics, an artificial intelligence expert and CEO of the Patriarch Organization, Eric Shepard, I hope I pronounced that, is going to be up in the first half of the show to discuss the future of warfare using robots and if a Terminator situation may be upon us soon. Great show. As a matter of fact, I think what I'll do is I'll kind of listen to this and grab some clips for another Way Out There when we get back together for our regular season, because that is an interesting topic we got to get on. It's amazing. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to listen to that particular show and probably just record it. What I can do now, I can run the radio through my VCR. That's what I use it now for. I use my VCR for the radio, and I'll record it overnight, and I'll play it, and I'll listen to it. I gotta check this thing out. It's fabulous. Also, let's see. I'm going to... Before I get any deeper into the next day's guest lineup, I want to quickly talk about what we got coming up on GJRB this week. First of all, we're going to be off the air until next Friday. Next Friday, the 23rd, we're going to do another show called Bluegrass Jubilee. That's right, Bluegrass is coming back to GJRB, and we're going to be starting our fall season, so I thought we're going to gotta have that Bluegrass Jubilee. It's way overdue from the summer. So we're going to have Bluegrass Jubilee on next Friday, right here on GJRB. Next Saturday, we're going to do Old Time Radio with Radioland. Got some great classics, got some old time radio programs for you, including shows like The Shadow, Escape. Some of the programs we're going to bring you, so you're going to check that out. That's Radioland next Saturday, and that'll be at, I believe I got that set up for 2 o'clock Central Time. So tune in for that. Old Time Radio, Radioland next week. Next Friday, It's Bluegrass Jubilee right here on GJR.